before we enter into this sutra, you have to understand this word karma. It means action. But action can be of two types. Either it can be a reaction or it can be a response. Somebody insults you. You become angry. He has pushed your button. In fact, he is the master. You are behaving like a slave. He has managed to create anger in you. He is in control. If he wants to change the situation, he can say, I am sorry. And things will be different. You are just a victim. You don't have any control of the situation. When somebody insults you, you are immediately reacting out of your past experiences. This reaction is really karma. It is a binding force. It creates chains for you. But a response is a totally different thing from reaction. A response is not produced by the other person. He insults you, he abuses you, you listen to him. He is making certain statements about you. A man of understanding, a man of awareness, a man of meditation will simply listen to it. He is making some statement, good or bad, that is. Not the concern of the moment. First you listen him. Without immediately going into a reaction. You allow your awareness like a mirror to reflect whatever he is saying or whatever he is doing. And out of your mirror-like, immediate, in the present, not from the past experience, some response comes. He was telling you that you are greedy. He was telling you that you are ugly. He was telling you that you are dirty. And if you silently listen, there is nothing to be angry about. Either he is right or he is wrong. If he is right, you have to be grateful to him. You have to tell him, thank you. You have a great compassion. You made me aware of things of which I was not aware. Please always remember, whenever you see something in me, tell me. Don't feel that I will be offended. I will always remain grateful. Or if you find that he is wrong, you can simply say, that I have heard your statements, but they are not true. And about something which is not true, why should I react? You will have to reconsider. Reconsider on your statements, and then we will see. But as far as I can see, there is nothing true in them, and I need not be offended by lies. Only two are the alternatives. George Gurdjieff's father died, and at that time he was only 9 years old. And the father was poor, but a very integrated man, a man of tremendous awareness. He called Gurdjieff and said, "Listen, you are too young to understand what I am saying. But remember it, soon you will be able to understand it. And if you can start acting accordingly, start acting so that you don't forget. I don't have anything else to give to you. No money, no house, no land." He was a nomad. "I am handing you over to my friends. But remember, this is the only treasure that I can give you in inheritance. And listen carefully, these are the last words of your father. His whole life's experience. A 9-year young boy, he came close to listen to the old father. And the father said, "It is a very simple thing. If somebody insults you, listen silently, carefully, in detail, what he is saying, what are the implications, and then tell the person that I am grateful that you have taken so much interest in me. After 24 hours, I will come and reply to you. I cannot help because my dying father has made it a condition to me that only after 24 hours consideration you are allowed to answer." And Gurdjieff said in his own old age to his disciples that this simple principle helped me tremendously. Because after 24 hours, who remains angry? And after considering 24 hours, either one finds he is right. If he is right, there is no need to bother. It is better to change yourself. Or he is wrong. Then too there is no need to be bothered. It is his problem, not your problem. A man who is fully awakened remains undefiled by whatsoever he does, because it is a response. It is a pure reflection from a mirror, with no judgment. It does not come from the past, it comes from the present consciousness. But anything that comes from your past experiences is going to create a chain for you. In the East, for 10,000 years we have been thinking about it, experimenting about it. It is the only thing that the whole East and its genius has remained involved. How a man can come to a stage where his actions don't make any bondage for him, don't create another birth for him. How a consciousness should be created that one can act without acting. And that nothing contaminates his being. Individuals create karma. Karma does not create individuals. So it is in your hands. You are not a byproduct of your actions. You are far bigger than your actions. Good or bad, you are always bigger. And it is in your hands to change everything. East has paid tremendous respect to the individual and has given him the greatest power ever given anywhere in the world over his own destiny. In the East, there is no savior. You are the savior. Nobody else can do that for you. It will be really ugly if somebody else can save you. Then even your being saved or redeemed is a kind of a slavery. And if somebody else can redeem you, somebody else can put you back into the wheel of birth and death, because you are just a puppet. All the religions that believe in saviors reduce man into a puppet. They take away the freedom and the dignity and the pride of individual beings. Bodhidharma is saying individuals create karma. You can create hell for yourself. You can create heaven. Or you can go beyond both. This going beyond both does not exist in Judaism, in Mohammedanism, in Christianity. That is especially the contribution of the Eastern mystics. Hell and heaven exist as hypotheses in Christianity, in Mohammedanism, in Judaism. But moksha, being beyond heaven and hell, because hell is misery and heaven is happiness. But happiness too becomes boring after a time. no Western religious leader has ever thought about. That happiness after a time becomes boring. How long you can tolerate happiness? Just as pain after a long time becomes a companion. Without it, you feel something is missing. I have known a man who had suffered from headache, migraines for almost 10 years. I used to go into the mountains, and he was also a professor in the same university where I was a professor. Once he asked me, "Can I come along with you?" I never liked anybody else to go with me because I was going out of the city just to avoid all the idiots. And this idiot was not only an idiot, he was with a migraine. I said, "My God," but I said, "Okay. It looks very unkind to say no to you. Just sit, but don't talk about migraine. Because I have an allergy." He said, "What kind of allergy?" I said, "If anybody talks to me of his disease, I become sick of the same disease." He said, "I have never heard such an allergy exist." I said, "It is not a question of hearing. The example. It is not a bookish question. Just don't talk about migraine." So I took him to the mountains, and it was the season of the mangoes, and the mountain was full of the sweetness of the mangoes. And I have the habit of climbing the trees from my very childhood. I have been falling from the trees so many times that my father used to tell me that now it is time you stop. I said, "I have fallen so many times that I am almost an expert in falling. Please don't be worried. I am not a beginner. I fall with a certain method. That's why I am surviving." So I took him to a mango tree which has very ripe mangoes and many parrots. Parrots love mangoes. And I told him, "You come along with me up the tree." He said, "What?" I said, "You come along." He said, "I have never been climbing on the tree." I said, "Try. It will be an adventure for you." And from the tree he really fell down. I had to rush, come back from the tree. But he looked very amazed. He said, "It is strange. I had the migraine, and by falling from the tree, it has disappeared." I said, "Sometimes it happens. But don't make it a practice. And don't tell anybody, because it may not happen to somebody else. It is just coincidence." But migraine disappeared. And after 7 days he met me and he said that I missed my migraine. I said, "First you were continuously complaining about migraine, and now you miss migraine." He said, "I have never known that I will miss it. Now I have nothing to talk about." Migraine was my whole philosophy. And because of the migraine, I was getting everybody else sympathy. Now nobody sympathizes with me. I said, "Then the only thing is, we can go to the mountains again, climb the tree and fall, perhaps. I can't be certain because there is no science in it. Perhaps the migraine comes back." He said, "I will have to think about it," because it was really very difficult. The suffering was bad. But next day he told me, "I am ready. Because without migraine I cannot live. I feel so empty. Because I had lived for 10 years with migraine." And you will not be surprised if you watch your own behavior. There are people who are smoking and they know they are burning their lungs, they know they are destroying their health. But it makes no difference. Even in few countries, the governments have decided that the factories which produce cigarettes should also write on the packets that it is dangerous to health. First, the cigarette companies were against for any such law to be passed, because this may destroy their whole business. Who is going to purchase cigarettes when just on the packet it is written, "It is against your health"? The medical opinion is that it is dangerous for your health, or something like that. But governments pass the law and the people who have been smoking, and the number of smokers goes on increasing. It does not make any difference. The law has been absolutely meaningless. Man becomes accustomed of anything then it is very difficult, even if it is dangerous, even if it is killing him, even if it is proved that it is going to give you cancer, you would rather like to have cancer than change your habit. But Bodhidharma is saying, you are the master of your destiny. You can change every act. You can change every habit. You can change what you think has become your second nature. And you can create a totally new individuality, fresh and young. With more awareness, with more understanding, with more blissfulness, with a great ecstasy. Only someone who is perfect creates no karma in this life and receives no reward. Who is perfect? The only one person is perfect, whose consciousness has dispelled all unconsciousness from his being. Right now, only 1/10 of your consciousness is conscious, and 9/10 is unconscious. The perfect man is one whose whole being, all the 10 parts, are absolutely conscious and full of light. And there is no darkness in his heart. In the very depths and silences of his heart, there is nothing but peace, silence, light, joy. Such a man is perfect. And such a man can do anything. Nothing is binding on him. He creates no karma. He creates no change. He creates no new life. He has come to the very end of the road. A perfect man, an awakened man, is not born again. What happens to his consciousness? It becomes part of the universe. Just like a dewdrop is slipping from a lotus leaf into the ocean. Either the dewdrop becomes the ocean, or the ocean becomes the dewdrop. You can say either way. But this is the goal of all religious men. The dropping of the dewdrop into the ocean. Sutras say, who creates no karma obtains the dharma. One who is fully conscious knows his self-nature. That is the meaning of dharma. When you create karma, you are reborn along with your karma. When you don't create karma, you vanish along with your karma. Someone who understands the teaching of the true sages is a sage himself. Someone who understands the teachings of martyrs is a martyr.